Welcome back to Red Devils TV, and this is your Manchester United versus Crystal Palace preview. Now, yes, I'm getting absolute deja vu here because literally a few days ago, we made the preview for the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace. Now, this game is going to be completely different. No doubt Crystal Palace will be a lot more strengthened, they'll be a lot more coordinated, and they'll have a better game plan than they did in the Carabao Cup because both teams completely rotated. There were two different sides, and this game is not going to be the 3-0 thrashing that Manchester United gave Crystal Palace at Old Trafford a few days ago. But what did we learn from the Crystal Palace versus Manchester United game? Here are a quick few things that we learned. Casemiro back to his best. He just looked a lot better. That double pivot of him and Amrabat looked absolutely sensational. Speaking of Amrabat, Old Trafford debut, will he be featured in a game like this against Crystal Palace in the Premier League? I sure hope so because he looked very good. The way he was distributing his balls, the long passes he was making, the physicality, the leadership. Amrabat looked like the real deal, and we've said this before we even signed Amrabat, the reason why Amrabat would be perfect for Manchester United, because again, with a player of his ability last season in the Serie A, he had one of the highest stats when it came to progressive ball carries, progressive passes throughout the whole of Serie A. And for a team like Fiorentina, who are around, they normally finish between 5th and 7th, around that mark, they did quite well, and with a player like Amrabat, he was always going to be picked up by bigger teams, and I'm just so glad he's at Manchester United now. As well, Mason Mount, that was his best game in the United shirt pre-season, and Mason Mount, as you say, his entire career so far at Manchester United has been a bit underwhelming, but in the game against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, he looked very, very good. And that cross that he made, that corner he made of Casemiro's goal was absolutely pinpoint perfect. And as well, Mason Mount as well, hitting them long balls out wide to Garnacho, to Palestra, who both had very good games. Speaking of Palestra and Garnacho, they were both relentless in the press. They were tracking back. They were exactly what Erik has been demanding from his wingers for such a long time now. Antony, Rashford. Antony, you know, his work rate is 100%, but the quality just isn't there. Rashford is the opposite. The work rate really isn't there, but the quality is, and that's the difference between them. With two young players like Palestri and Garnacho, no doubt they're going to show more fight. And what I love about this is that now when Antony does come back from this suspension, whenever he does come back, there's competition for places, and Rashford needs to feel the same, because for too long now, players like Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and others have kind of been the first name on the team sheet, but with players like Garnacho and Palestri on the rise, no doubt these players like Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, all these other players need to be a bit careful because they've got competition for places, and no doubt players like Garnacho and Palestra, who are very hungry, are going to be hunting for that first team position. As well, I just want to give a quick shout out to Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire gets a lot of stick in our fan base, and rightly so, you could say, because he has made a blunder amount of mistakes. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give credit where credit's due, and Harry Maguire was very good against Crystal Palace in the game in the Carabao Cup. Will he start? I'm not too sure, but I did really like the backline, the way Erik did play, going for a back three. Sofyan Amrabat was that inverted fullback who was drifting into the midfield, making a double pivot for Casemiro, and Casemiro just had acres of free space. He just looked back to his best, and I think that's why we've kind of seen Casemiro drop off this season, because Fred was pretty much his right-hand man. Fred was doing all the pressing. Fred was just with Casemiro's energy, and Casemiro's he's an experienced player. He's world class, but he does need the support now, I think, especially in the Premier League. So with a player like Amrabat, I do personally believe that Casemiro will get back to his best once him and Amrabat make some sort of partnership and chemistry, and they get a lot better. But what shall we expect in this game? Now, as I've said, Crystal Palace will go a lot stronger in the team. You've got Guehi, a very solid centre-back. You've also got Eze, who didn't start but came on and caused Manchester United a load of troubles. Elise, I'm not too sure about. He wasn't in the squad on Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. But you never know. Like, he could just have been rested like Christian Eriksen was, and he might be involved in the game on Saturday. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about this game. If Manchester United can play like that, it's now 2 clean sheets back to back. Doesn't matter about the opposition. What it does matter about is that Manchester United now kept 2 clean sheets back-to-back. Burnley 1-0 away from home and 3-0 against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. Now, like I said, it doesn't matter about the opposition because Manchester United are now starting to score more goals. We're now starting to look a lot more solid in defence. And with the current injury crisis we've got, it's now starting to ease. Like I said, we've got players like Maguire coming back, Mount, Amrabat. The list goes on, and I'm looking forward to seeing more rotation, more quality on the bench that we can try and impact more games if we are trailing behind or if we do need to go a bit more defensive in a certain game. I am glad now that we're getting more rotational options and the squad is getting a lot stronger, in my opinion. Score prediction wise, I'm going to say it again. I called it. I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester United. I feel like that Manchester United, we saw the way Hodgson wants to play with Crystal Palace. Now, Hodgson has done an amazing job since taking over Patrick Vieira. But with Hodgson, he still plays the same style of football. It doesn't matter what team he puts out, the team always plays the same. Now, yes, the quality will be higher in the game on Saturday, but I still think Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag, this is our dream. Like, these are the perfect teams that we like to play against. We like to put players on the back foot. Oh, sorry, we like to put teams on the back foot. We like to, overload the opposition, force them to drop back and force them to counter-attack us. But when we're high in possession, we're just passing it around and just making them go back and back and back. We just overload teams, and that's exactly what Erik Ten Hag wants to do with his teams. Now, in the Premier League, yes, it's going to be hard. You can't do that with every single team. But with teams like Crystal Palace, who probably won't really challenge us in that format, I believe Manchester United could have a similar result than we did on Tuesday. Now, we might slip a goal. It might be 3-1. It might be 2-0 United. That's what the whole prediction's about. But I think United looked very solid on Tuesday night. I went to the game, so I didn't get the TV angle. I got the angle where I was watching every single player on that pitch. That was my view. And I was watching Palestri tracking back. The partnership between him and Dalot looked really, really solid. I saw how much Garnacho was pressing. I saw how good Harry Maguire looked defensively. Like, him and Varane were just pressing up and up the pitch. We were pretty much playing over the halfway line for 10 minutes straight at one point. That's how confident we were on Tuesday night. And I'm hoping we get a similar type of style of football on Saturday. Now, what do I think my predicted 11 is going to be? I do think it's going to change, but not by much. I do feel like Erik Ten Hag will go for a similar formation. Onana, for me, stays in net. Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire, Varane, and Amrabat is the back four, with Amrabat drifting into the midfield. Now, just remember about that. Then we've got a midfield of Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and I'm going to say Mason Mount. Now, there has been conspiracy theories that Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes can't play together, but Mason Mount was doing a lot of pressing on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. He was absolutely everywhere on Tuesday night. Now, as long as him and Bruno form that partnership, and we've got a double pivot of Amrabat and Casemiro with a back three, and then you've got the likes of Amrabat dropping between the defenders when let's say, for example, Crystal Palace are pushing us back and they're on the counter attack. As long as we have a structure and stability, then no doubt I feel like Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount can work together. And then front line, I am going to go for Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, and then Rasmus Højlund. I do think that is that everyone. Wait, no. I think I've completed my list. So I was on Onana, Dalot, Maguire, Varane, Amrabat, Casemiro, Mount, Fernandes, Marcus Rashford. Am I missing two? I don't know. What have I done here? Oh my God, this is an absolute blunder. Oh my God, what have I done here? Anyway, I'm trying. Who have I missed out? There's a player I've missed out. Is it Palestra? I think. No. Oh my God, I've had an absolute blunder. I'm going to keep this in the video because I want you, the audience, to know that it's a natural reaction. But, oh my God. Wait, so let's say 4-2-3-1. Let's just do that. So we've got Onana, Dalot, Varane, Maguire, Amrabat, Casemiro, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Højlund, and Palestra. Yes, that's my team. There we go. We got there in the end. Now, You could argue maybe not Palestra, maybe you could argue Hannibal Mabry for that energy. He has played a few games in a row now for us. So yes, that was the team I was going for. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. But with that team, I think that if it's Hannibal Mabry, it will be Mason Mount or Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. But if Palestra does start, then you've got Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, Mason Mount in the midfield, and no doubt them two will become on 2 advanced 10s. And then you've got Palestra or Garnacho on the right wing, Marcus Rashford on the left, and Rasmus Højlund through the middle. We got there in the end, but yes, that is a team that I'm going for. Key play for Manchester United, I'm going to have to say Bruno Fernandes. He has had a few poor performances, but yet again, that saviour goal against Burnley just shows what he's made of. He can have a moment of brilliance and win us games single-handedly. I just think that him and Rasmus Højlund, that relationship is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I hope Marcus Rashford scores because he needs to now get on the confidence train and just build up his performance again and just get 30 goals like he did last season, because Marcus Rashford has the quality, but I just think at the moment he's overthinking it. He's overthinking his options. I mean, you look at the Burnley situation, there was a moment in the game where Marcus Rashford was one-on-one with a defender, and if he went round him, he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But what happened? Marcus Rashford stands still and tries and does a few oversteps, and by the time the Burnley player, he gets past the Burnley player after about 10 step overs, the entire Burnley defence is back and Marcus Rashford's shot gets blocked. So when you think of it like that, Marcus Rashford, that's a key example of him overthinking it. He needs to be, while he's sprinting for that ball, he needs to be like, right, I've got a Burnley player to my right, no one on my left-hand side. All I need to do is do a few oversteps. After about 2 oversteps, I'll go to my left or go to my right, and then I will be one-on-one with the keeper. I think he's just overthinking too much. Maybe the backlash in the media and the fans are getting on him. I'm not too sure, but I hope not, because I hope Marcus Rashford is back to his best very, very soon. He just needs to get that first goal, like break out of the chains and just sort out his career. And an update on Jadon Sancho, he is still suspended from Manchester United, so he will not be included in this game against Crystal Palace yet again. I think it's over for Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. That's just my opinion. I think it's a lot of other fans' opinions. And as well, I am at the game at Old Trafford on Saturday at 3 p.m. kickoff. So if you want to get involved in the channel, and if you are going to the game on Saturday, we'll meet up outside the game and we'll do a match reaction together. But anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Take care.